welcome back. It's another beautiful day in Utah. It is probably like about, I don't know, 30-something degrees in here. Yeah, let's see. It's about 45 in here right now, according to the thermostat on the wall. But, yeah, today we're working on the truck wagon. We got a couple of issues that popped up. I don't know why. But if you look at it when I'm driving it, everything runs fine, right? You go park it, you run in the store, you come back out, everything runs fine. If you let it sit for more than like, say overnight, like I did last night, you go to get in it and start it, I've got no fuel pressure. Don't make any sense, right? And all of a sudden it comes back, it's there. And then it works. So I don't know what the heck is going on. So we're gonna check a couple things, diagnose the fuel pumps, make sure they're working right. We also have found the stinking fuel selector valve, and I actually worked on cleaned up the workbench, so we got that here. If you guys don't know, the old one that's in there inside the motor's not working. I'm not sure if this one's gonna work because it's a used one that I got offline. He says yes, it'll work, it works, blah blah blah. So I'm hoping this thing works. We're just gonna get under there, plug it in. I might fire up the air compressor just to check a little bit of like 2 pounds of air to run through the nozzles on that to the outputs, make sure everything works. If that works, then I'll be happy camper, because then I can use both my tanks, because right now we're just running off the rear tank as it speaks. But let's get to it. Alright guys, well, here's a tiny little update for you guys. Yeah, the bed of the truck is off the bed again. I'm so thrilled. Got issues with the freaking brand new freaking sending unit on the rear tank. Obviously you guys know I haven't hooked up the front tank, which I'm not going to right now. I'm actually just going to do something different with that. I'm not even going to hook up the front tank at all. Something different. I'm probably just going to run a line. My idea is run a line from the output of this, and I'm going to run it into that tank with a what do you call those little nipples or whatever they call them, and put it in there. And I'm just gonna wire this in with a switch for the fuel pump. Inside, I was turn the pump on. What it's gonna do is it's gonna pull fuel from this tank and put it in this tank, and done. The whole wiring mechanism underneath with that selector, it is just driving me nuts. It is a mess, and I'm not doing it, so I'm just gonna make it easy. Still gonna have twice the same amount of fuel. It's just gonna be fed from the one pump and the one tank. And so far, I've got that actually working, where it will register. It's registering the tank. So, or registering on the gauge. The gauge actually works, guys. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, not fun. So, I've got another fuel sending unit part on the way. It had to be ordered. It had to be about 4 o'clock. And we're just gonna take it down and exchange it, because this was junk. I don't know why, but that's what we're doing. So anyway, yeah, I'll check you guys here in a second with the fuel gauge. Let me hook up a couple things, and I'll show you the gauge actually works. All right, guys. I don't know if you can see that right there, but look at that. The gas gauge is actually working. So there's nothing wrong with the gas gauge. I just wired it in temporarily. I don't know if I can show you guys here. See the wires? I just wired in the relay from the switch to tell what tank is on what. On what level. So right now I'm gonna flip it from the rear tank, or from the rear tank to the front tank, and see if that one's working, because I have another idea for something a little different, and we're gonna try that while I wait for this part to show up anyway. Alright guys, a little update on what's going on. We basically gotta sit and wait till about 4 o'clock when I can get that part I need for that stupid thing, so I can send that back. And then I figured out the wiring diagram for the sending unit for the rear tank to the gauge, which you guys all know the gauge does work. So when we move the sending unit on the front tank here, can't hold this thing still. We put the front tank up. Well, this is the sending unit from the front tank to send it from the rear, because that's something I looked up. Your gas gauge works. Yay. And the aftermarket gas gauge, what I thought I was going to work with, it's not working. It's just jumping from like full to empty, full to empty. Yeah, let me show you guys what I'm dealing with here. So we have an aftermarket fuel gauge here, right? So if we hook up the positive and negative, let me do this real quick. That thing jumps all the way to full, okay? So if you hook up the unit, that's what it does. It doesn't register. It goes from full to half, back and forth to empty to half, whatever. Yeah, I've done a couple different things with it. Haven't figured it out. So I think I got a crappy gas gauge. So I'll be going back and getting exchanged too as well. Other than that, it sucks ass. And it's bright as hell out here. So we gotta sit, basically wait. All right, guys. Well, guess what we got? Whoa, brand new freaking assembly for the rear. So now we're just gonna get that thing put in, and hopefully this solves our freaking fuel delivery issue from the rear tank at the moment. It's been a long day. So, all right, guys. Good morning. It is Saturday. Next day. I ended the video last night with the fuel issue. I was getting tired of it. It is exactly 40 degrees out here. Actually, it's like 38, 40, somewhere around there. We gotta get the old Chuck Wagon running again. I tried to figure out some fuel issue. Don't know what the hell was going on, but we figured out that the pumps aren't turning on. Awesome. So now I'm gonna go through, diagnose the electrical issue, figure out what's going on. Might be a blown fuse. I don't know, because it was working. And that's not, it wasn't, not, oh well. But I checked the fuel pumps manually. We hook them up to a 12-volt source. They both fire up. The other one I'm going to check today is the high pressure pump after the pumps, the inline one. Let's see if that's dead. If that one's dead, I have a spare sitting over there. That's, yeah, probably good. I don't know, I haven't really used it. I got it from my buddy. He said, here, have the spare. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna dive into that and check everything out. All right, guys, game plan is done. We pulled this back off. Actually, I wasn't even pulled it back on to start with. So I checked out, make sure what wire that was positive on that pump, make sure what wire was positive on this pump, because I just want to double check, make sure I was getting the right pumps. So we checked it with a wire down there. I don't know if you guys can see it down there. Wired it in, pump turns on. So now I got to get the wires for the high pressure pump. It's on the inline, and we're gonna run that into a fuse link, and then we're gonna run it into the ignition. When it turns on, the pumps will turn on, and back to where it was before. Also, we might consider putting a relay into, because the pumps pull so much power or whatever else too. So we're gonna do that, and gotta hope this thing starts. I've been working on this thing for 2 days now, so I need to work on the other project. You may have seen a glimpse of it in the video, yesterday's video. You may have seen a glimpse of it. If anybody knows, shoot me a comment down in that piece of clip or whatever. Let's see if you guys know. The videos haven't put it up yet. We're gonna work on that hopefully today or tomorrow. If not, it'll be in a week or two. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna get this back together, get it run. I know it's running because I had the pump in the back. It fired up, but it wouldn't run because the high pressure pump needs to fuel those big ass injectors in the motor for high pressure fuel. Anyway, we'll get this all done, and we'll get back to you as soon as we're gonna get ready to start it. All right, guys, well, we are done with that wiring spot. What we gotta do is, now I haven't started this yet, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna turn it on. So what we gotta do is turn the ignition on. This switch is gonna get wired in the dash here, fuel pumps, and then we're gonna hit the starter button. Oh yeah, she's running. She's cold, but she's running. All right, guys, so what we gotta do is, now we're back over closer to the garage. As you can tell, we were just, like, you know, across the way because it wasn't running yesterday. I pushed it out of the way to get the other project back in here. But anyway, what we gotta do is we gotta find a drill bit, and we're actually gonna drill a hole about right here for this switch to drop in for that one. And then we gotta put the bed back together and all this fun jizz stuff all back together so we can get the filler index pushed back in. And yeah, we'll fill a rip. I'm gonna go to this hardware store. We're gonna go to the store, see if we can find another switch, because I want to get rid of that stupid wiring crap for the starter ignition. we're gonna move it out of the way, put a momentary switch in somewhere. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get a couple things out and we'll just go. You guys can see this, but we're gonna drill the hole right now. And yep, I'm gonna put a nice little spot for it. Get these big ass bolts back in, and we're gonna get these guys. I'll line back up with their little bolts, and we'll be good to go. And then we'll throw the other project back in here, and we'll go for a little ride and see how this all goes. Anyway, yeah, let's just do that real quick. All right, guys. Well, we're in the truck. It is running back together. Bed's all back on. Filling necks are all tightened up. And we're just gonna go see what she'll do. After going to the stores too. But yeah. We got good oil pressure. I don't know if you guys can see that. Gas gauge is saying full. Temperature gauge is reading normally. And yeah, we're actually doing pretty good right now. Just gonna check everything out. Drive around for a minute, see what happens. Alright guys, we've been driving around for a minute. Everything's around normal. Gas gauge is still guys, well, we are driving on the freeway. A little bit of construction over here. But so far, you know, holding this thing about 70 miles an hour. Just doing pretty good. Haven't had the issues yet, no overheating. No nothing yet since the new thermostat got put in. I got a heater. Yay! Good point. And yeah. We're just gonna head home now and check a couple things out. I will call it for today on this one. Well, guys, it is about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. It is getting chilly and dark, so we're done for the day. Everything working on the truck. Except for a small minor detail I got fixed now. I don't know what the heck happened. But my cigarette lighter's not working because the GoPro died. And yeah, lost some footage. But oh well. Life as a vlogger, right? Anyway, hope you guys liked it. Please like it, share it, subscribe for more. Leave a comment. Follow me on my TikTok, follow me on Instagram, all that fun stuff. Anyway, more stuff coming. And yeah, since we got more stuff coming, but like I said, let's get our subscriber content up anyway. We'll talk to you guys a little later. Peace. Hello. Hello.